Before GarageBand had its own plugins, effects, and EQs, there was a trick we used to use to get some cool sounds on our vocals, and that was to push them through an amp simulator. So in this video, we're going a bit retro and a bit old school, and I'm going to show you how to put that amp plugin effect on your vocals. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete, and this is Studio Live Today, where I help you create, record, and release your best music. And especially if you're a mobile creator and you love your GarageBand or your mobile creation on iPhone or iPad, I've got a heap of videos here on the channel and more coming out every day, so consider subscribing. But today, we're looking at one of my favorite little tricks that I used a lot back in GarageBand version 2, but not so much now that we have all the plugins, and that is using an amp simulator. So let's stop the talking, let's start the creating, and jump down into the iPad. Here we are in GarageBand on my iPad, and the exact same method can be used on your iPhone, but let's jump in and take a look. So here's a little bit of a track that I'm working on at the moment. It sounds like this. Autumn haze is coming down. So this is sounding okay, but that vocal, it just needs a little bit of an edge. Now, what I could do is I could come in here and I could add in a bunch of plugins and effects. I could put some distortion, I could put some chorus, I could do whatever I want here. But I kind of think that we could use some of our amp simulators to create a pretty unique kind of tone for this vocal. So let's show you how we can do that now. What we need to do first is hit the plus button down the bottom left here, and we're going to add in an amp simulator track. Now, I'm going to tap on the distorted here for my amps, and it's brought me into my glam rock by default. Now, if I want to change this, I tap on the button here that says glam rock, and I can dial in any of the different settings I want here. So I can use any of my clean or my crunchy or my distorted or my processed sounds. Maybe we won't go distorted, maybe we'll go crunchy to start with, and let's use our Americana crunch here from our tone collection. So here we go, we've got a small tweed combo here, looking a little bit cool. And what we can now do is let's tap on our track view to go back to our track here. So this is designed to play a guitar into, but there's nothing stopping us from grabbing our vocal. We're going to tap, we're going to copy it, and we're going to come down to this track, go to the start, and paste it in. So we've now got our vocal playing through this amp simulator. So we'll tap this original one and mute that. This is going to be a bit scary, but just listen to what this sounds like out of the box just through this particular amp. Autumn haze is coming down. So what are we hearing there? Well, let's solo it in. We're actually hearing there's a bit of a flange or something on there that's or a chorus effect that's going to sound a bit weird. Let's take a listen. Autumn haze is coming. Yeah, that tremolo's a little bit weird, but we're on the right track, right? So we can come back in here. We can dial in different settings here. So let's just try something else. What about the Tube King is a pretty cool one that I like on my guitars. Let's see what it's like on my vocals. Down. Wow, that's going to be a bit intense. Let's try it. Is coming down. Yeah, so that's it's gonna be a little bit intense there, but what we can do, just like we can with our guitars, we can come in here, we can change around. So let's turn off the compressor there, let's come back to our amp, and we can actually dial in the different amp settings here to make our sound however we want it. So let's maybe just take the presence down a little bit, the tremolo's off, which is good, a little bit less on the reverb, and let's take a listen. Haze is coming down. So that's more like the sort of sound that I was looking for here. Let's bring that back into the mix now and see what it sounds like. Autumn haze is coming down. So you can see here that it's kind of fun. We can play around with different sounds, but let's go a little bit nuts. Let's go full on distortion. We can come in here, we can tap this, let's go distorted. And what about the brownstone from our tone collection? Let's see what this sounds like through our brownstone amp sim here. And you can hear there, I've got my delay effect on there. I'll just turn that off for now because I need to put that through the same thing, which we could do, but I won't do that for now. But yeah, that's kind of getting there. And again, we can come in here and we can dial in all of our settings on here and we're all good to go. Now, I did mention that we used to use this for sort of not even affected vocals, but just to actually EQ a vocal. So how do we do that? Well, we went in here and we chose sort of a cleaner tone. So we'll come in here to clean and we just put on, say, our clean stack here, which is basically like pushing it through a Marshall head, a Marshall stack, and then we could actually use the EQ to actually dial in our vocals. So let's show you that now. So I'm just playing with the output and the gain here, just to move it in. Over me and all over town. So you can see there, like, it's not easy to do, but you could basically use the EQ controls, you could use the reverb control, you could use the tremolo to add some of these effects to your vocals. Now, they're not designed for vocals, but with the right amount of patience and trial and error, you could get there. Now, of course, if we wanted to these days, we could just come into our plugins and effects and add in whichever ones we want, our reverbs, our delays, and everything else. But this is a cool option, especially if you want that different sort of tone, or you want something that sounds like it's a distorted or that's pushing through for a song like this. It can be a cool tip and tool to have in your toolkit. And there you go. Yes, we don't have to do this anymore, but there's no reason why we can't do it to create some cool and funky and unique sounds here in GarageBand. There's 2 more videos about some other tips and tricks down below that you can check out. You can also subscribe to the channel by clicking or tapping on the Studio Live Today icon, and I hope to see you on the next video.